All right, so welcome to Food Truck Freaks, and in this video I'm going to give you the rundown of a burger food truck checklist for your equipment. So we actually did a great podcast. This is our most recent podcast for Food Truck Freaks. We actually covered in a conversation a fantastic list of what you need to have for your burger food truck, and we're going to dive into that right now.
Hey everyone! So you're ready to dive into the world of burger food trucks. I gotta say, your equipment checklist is seriously impressive. You've done your homework. It can feel a little overwhelming though, right? All the stuff to sort through. Well, that's what we're here for. Think of this deep dive as your guide. You know, some of the things on this list, I was like, wait, really? Like, did you know there are special fire extinguishers just for grease fires? And a separate sink just for washing your hands? By the end of this, though, you'll know exactly what you need and why. Speaking of the why, we've got our expert here who can break down all the tech stuff and maybe even share some insider tips.
You bet. It's all about setting yourself up for success right, and that starts with the right equipment.
Okay, so let's get right to it. The star of the show, the cooking equipment. First up, you've got the flat top griddle/grill. Makes sense, that's the workhorse. But you've got a huge price range here, from a few $100 for used to a couple thousand for a brand new one. What should our listener be thinking about here?
Yeah, that's a great question. It all comes down to budget versus long-term goals.
Right.
A flat top, you got to have it. It's going to be doing everything. Burgers, obviously.
Right.
But also, toasting the buns, grilling onions, all that good stuff.
Right, it's like the multitasker of the kitchen.
Exactly. Now, if you're just starting out, watching your budget, a reliable used one can be a great way to save some cash up front.
That makes sense. But are there red flags to watch out for with used equipment?
For sure. Definitely want to make sure it's in good working order. Look it over for any, wear and tear, and see if you can find out about its maintenance history. Has it been taken care of? A well-maintained used griddle, awesome investment. But if it's been neglected, you could end up spending more on repairs down the line.
So it's a risk-reward kind of thing. Okay, now you've also got a charbroiler listed as optional. And in my head, I'm already picturing those perfect grill marks. Pros and cons of adding that to the setup.
Yeah, the charbroiler. That's all about flavor. That smoky taste? Those sear marks? Just screams classic burger. But here's the thing. There are different types of charbroilers, too. You've got your gas-powered ones. They're super easy to control, heat up fast. And then you've got charcoal. So people swear by it for that, ultimate smoky depth of flavor.
Okay, so it's a flavor choice, but also a logistical one. Charcoal sounds amazing, but I'm guessing it's more hands-on.
Exactly. Charcoal, it needs more attention, takes longer to heat up, and there's definitely more cleanup. It's not just about the taste and how easy it is to use, though. It's also about what kind of burger experience you're going for, fast casual or something like slow-cooked, artisanal.
It's true. Every piece of equipment kind of tells a story about your brand.
For sure.
Okay, can't forget the sidekick to every great burger, the French fry. So deep fryers.
Yeah.
What should our listener be thinking about when choosing one?
Well, size definitely matters. And yeah, there are actually different types, too.
Oh, really?
You've got your standard ones that sit on the counter. Those are great when you're starting out, smaller operation. But if you're planning on, serious fry production, you might want to think about a larger floor-standing unit. And then there's the gas versus electric decision.
Interesting. Breakdown on that.
So gas fryers, they heat up quicker, more powerful too, which is important when you're in the weeds. Got to keep up with the orders. But they do need a gas hookup, so logistically, that's something to think about. Electric ones, they're a bit slower to heat up, but often they're easier to install and operate.
Got it. So it's like speed versus ease of use.
Yeah. And don't forget capacity. Think about how many orders of fries you're going to be cranking out during rush hour. Don't want to end up with a fryer that's too small and can't keep up right.
No fry shortage.
Yeah.
All right, last thing in the cooking department, the bun toaster. This is listed as optional. I'm assuming you can just toast buns on the griddle, so why a dedicated toaster?
Yeah, the griddle can definitely pull double duty. But a separate bun toaster, game changer, especially when it gets busy. Efficiency and consistency, Think about it. You're trying to toast buns on an already crowded griddle. You got patties going, other toppings. Dedicated toaster frees up space, and those buns perfectly toasted every single time.
Okay, yeah, I see how that would streamline things. No more juggling buns and burgers.
Yeah.
So we've got our cooking powerhouses sorted out. Let's move on to something less glamorous, but equally important, refrigeration.
Ah, yes. The unsung heroes of the food truck world.
So you've got reach-in refrigerator and under-counter fridges listed. What's the difference and how do you choose?
Space and volume. mostly. Region refrigerators, more storage, which is great if you have a big menu or go through a lot of ingredients. But they do take up more space, and in a truck, every inch counts. Under-counter fridges, they're more compact. You can fit them under your prep counter. Good for smaller setups.
Making the most of every inch. I see you've also got a separate freezer listed. Always necessary.
Depends on the menu. If you're using frozen patties, frozen fries, or any other frozen stuff, then yeah, you'll need a dedicated freezer. And just like with refrigerators, they come in different sizes.
Okay, so fridges and freezers. Check. Now this is the part that really caught my eye. The prep table with refrigerated wells. Genius for toppings.
Right. It's like a mini salad bar. Everything's right there, perfectly chilled, organized, assembly's a breeze.
Talk about efficiency. I bet this makes a huge difference in customer wait time.
Absolutely. Every second counts when you've got a line of hungry customers.
So true. Okay, speaking of prep areas, let's talk about surfaces. Stainless steel tables, they're pretty standard, but why?
Well, stainless steel, it's durable, easy to clean, and it won't rust. Which, in a food truck where there are spills and, stuff happens, it's pretty essential.
Makes sense. You need something tough. Now, cutting boards, you've got them listed as color-coded. Tell me more about that.
Oh, yeah. Color coding, it's a simple thing, but it's a great way to prevent cross-contamination. Like you might have a red one for raw meat, green for veggies, that sort of thing. Keeps everything separate, prevents any accidents.
A visual reminder. Okay, knives and utensils. I'm a little overwhelmed by the price range here. What should our listener be thinking about?
Yeah, the prices can be all over the place. It really comes down to quality and how long they'll last. Good quality knives and utensils, they're an investment. They'll stay sharp, longer, less maintenance. But if you're on a tight budget, you can definitely find more affordable options to get you started.
Prioritize quality, but don't go broke. All right, so we're moving into optional equipment territory. First up, a patty press. I'm guessing this is for folks who are making their patties fresh.
Exactly. Fresh, never frozen burgers. Patty press is your best friend. Consistent size and thickness every time. Which means even cooking, predictable portions.
Consistency is key. Another optional item, a food slicer. Is this all about volume and speed?
Pretty much. If you're slicing mountains of tomatoes, onions, cheese, a food slicer can be a lifesaver. Speeds up prep, everything's uniform, looks good, and it helps with portion control too.
Okay, so cooking, refrigeration, prep.now for one of the most important things. Safety.
Couldn't agree more. Safety first, always.
You've got a vent hood listed first. I'm realizing this is more than just keeping the truck from getting smoky, huh?
Right. Vent hood's often a legal requirement. Health codes, got to have proper ventilation. It gets rid of the grease, smoke, heat, keeps everyone safe.
Safety and a legal must-have. And of course, the fire suppression system connected to the hood. This one's a biggie.
No kidding. Fire suppression system, that's your first line of defense against grease fires. It's designed to detect a fire and put it out automatically. Protects your equipment, the truck, and most importantly, you.
Okay, when I saw Class K fire extinguishers on your list, I was like, wait, there are different kinds. What's so special about these?
Class K, those are specifically for grease fires. They use a special chemical that cools the fire down and stops it from flaring up again.
Whoa.
Got to have the right tools for the job, right?
Absolutely. Safety is all about being prepared. Even something as simple as heat-resistant gloves stood out to me.
Yeah, you're working around hot surfaces all day. Got to protect yourself. It's a small thing, but it can prevent a lot of pain.
Smart. I think that's a great place to pause for now. We've covered a ton, but there's more to come. Waterworks, power, all the tech and tools to serve up those burgers. Stay with us.
All right, let's jump back into this food truck equipment deep dive. We were talking safety, and now we're moving on to another essential. The water system. You've got a 3-compartment sink here. Seems like a lot, but I'm guessing it's a health code thing.
You guessed it. 3 compartments, gotta have them.
It's all about keeping things separate, washing, rinsing, sanitizing. Each step gets its own compartment. Make sure everything's properly cleaned and sanitized. Can't mess around with that. Got to keep those customers safe.
Right. It's not just about looking clean. It's about being hygienic. And then you've got a separate hand washing sink, too. I mean, that seems obvious, but again, probably a health code rule.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely required.
Yeah.
Hand washing's like the #1 way to prevent spreading germs, right? Having a dedicated sink for it just reinforces good habits for everyone. Plus, it shows your customers you're serious about cleanliness, which builds trust,
It's all about that safe and healthy environment. Okay, now this is the part that I find super cool. The freshwater and gray water tanks. It's like a self-contained water system right there in the truck.
That's pretty neat, huh? Freshwater tank, that's for all your clean water needs, washing, prepping, everything. And then the gray water tank collects the wastewater until you can dispose of it properly. How big those tanks need to be, that's going to depend on how much water you're using each day.
So if I'm slinging burgers and making gallons of milkshakes, I'm going to need a bigger freshwater tank.
Yep. The more you use, the bigger the tank's got to be. And you also got to figure out how often you can refill and empty them, which might depend on where you're parked, if you've got easy access to a water hookup.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk power. The literal kind. The generator. This is like the heart of your truck's energy system, but I gotta be honest, wattage always confuses me. Break it down for me.
So wattage is basically a measure of how much power each piece of equipment needs to run. And your generator. It's got to be strong enough to handle all of your equipment running at the same time, especially during those crazy busy times when everything is going full blast.
So if I've got my griddle cranked up, deep fryer bubbling away, I'm gonna need a more powerful generator than someone who's just using a small grill.
Exactly. You got to add up the wattage of all your equipment and make sure your generator can handle it. Might be worth talking to an electrician, someone who knows food trucks. They can help you figure out the right size.
Not a DIY situation. Got it. Okay, then we've got propane tanks to fuel all that cooking.
Yep. Propane, it's a great fuel for food trucks. It's efficient. It's easy to find. But safety's super important. Make sure those tanks are stored properly, secured, in a well-ventilated area. Get them inspected regularly to make sure there are no leaks or anything.
Always got to be safe. Okay, let's switch gears now and talk about the customer-facing side of things. Point-of-sale systems, or POS systems, as the cool kids call them. I know these can be anything from a tablet to a full-blown register. What are the key things to think about here?
It's about finding what works for you. Budget matters, but also what features you need. A simple tablet-based system, that can be a great starting point. Handles credit cards, tracks your sales. But as your business grows, you might want something more powerful, something that can do online ordering, manage your inventory, give you more detailed reports, that kind of thing.
Start simple, upgrade as you go. Okay, the order window or counter. Seems pretty straightforward, but I'm guessing there's more to it than meets the eye.
The design of your order area is super important. You want a smooth flow, customers can easily place orders, pick up their food, minimize those wait times. Nobody wants to wait forever for their burger, right?
Yeah.
Think about things like maybe a built-in sneeze guard, a shelf for drinks, even a little counter for folks to put their stuff while they wait.
It's all about those details. Speaking of details, receipt printers, they're listed as optional. Are paper receipts going extinct?
It's definitely a trend. A lot of the places are going digital, email receipts or text them to the customer. Saves paper, good for the environment. But some people still like that paper copy. So think about your customers, what they're going to want.
Know your audience. Okay, now this one's not optional. Menu displays. This is your chance to showcase those delicious burgers.
Your menu is like your billboard, first thing people see. Make it eye-catching, easy to read, and make them hungry. Chalkboard, digital signs, get creative, let your personality show.
Love it. Okay, on to something less exciting, but just as important, storage. First up, dry storage shelves. Are there rules for how to store food?
Oh yeah, for sure. Health codes usually say food's got to be stored off the floor, on shelves, helps prevent contamination, and it keeps things organized.
No burger buns on the floor.
Got it. Then we have condiment dispensers, and I gotta say, I kind of geek out over these. There are so many different kinds. What should we be looking for?
Think about efficiency and portion control. You want just the right amount of ketchup, mustard, all that good stuff, so you don't waste anything.
And nobody wants a soggy burger from too much ketchup.
Exactly. Plus, having everything organized and looking sharp, it makes your whole operation look more professional.
It's all about the presentation. Okay, what about paper goods and packaging? I see you have a note here about sustainability. That's a big deal these days.
Huge. Customers care about the environment, and they want to support businesses that do too. So when you're picking out your wrappers, boxes, all that stuff, think about eco-friendly options. Recycled paper, compostable materials. It's good for the planet, and it's good for business.
Win-win. Okay, a couple of optional things here. Food warmers or heat lamps. Are those really necessary? It depends. Think about your rush hour. How busy do you get? If you're constantly pumping out burgers, a food warmer can help keep everything hot and fresh until it gets to the customer.
Okay, so it's strategic, depending on your volume. All right, we're in the home stretch now. Let's talk about those little things, those tools that every burger master needs. Thermometers, I know they're super important for food safety, but tell me more about the different types.
Yeah, you'll definitely want a few different kinds. A probe thermometer, That's essential for checking your burger temps, make sure they're cooked all the way through. Then a refrigerator freezer thermometer, got to monitor those temps too. And an infrared thermometer can be handy for checking the surface temperature of your grill or griddle. Make sure it's nice and hot.
Wow, thermometers for everything. Okay, timers, these got to be all about consistency, right? Especially when it comes to frying.
Absolutely. Timers are your friends. They help you stay consistent, which means consistently delicious food. Think about your fries. Golden brown and crispy every time. A timer's going to help you get there.
Consistency is king. What about scales? Seems simple enough, but what's the big deal?
Scales are all about portion control. You want to make sure you're not wasting ingredients and you're making consistent burgers. Portion control makes customers happy too, because they know what to expect.
It's all connected. All right, finally, cleaning supplies. Seems obvious, but anything we should know.
We got to make sure you're using food-safe cleaners and you're following the right procedures. Check with your local health department. They'll have guidelines. A clean food truck is a happy food truck.
Word. Last but not least, trash cans and grease disposal. Anything special to keep in mind?
Just got to make sure you're disposing of everything properly, following the rules. Lots of places have specific guidelines for grease, so be sure to check those out. Being responsible, it's good for the environment, good for everyone.
So many things to think about. You know, you had that bonus round on your checklist with some extra equipment for menu expansion. That's got to be fun to think about, adding those extra touches.
For sure. Taking your burger game to a whole new level.
Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll dive into all that delicious bonus equipment. Stay tuned.
All right, we're back, and you know what that means? Time to talk about expanding that menu. It's like the fun part, all the extras that make your food truck unique.
Exactly. It's about taking your burger game to the next level. Those little something extras that'll keep people coming back for more.
First up, a milkshake machine or a high-powered blender. I mean, come on. Who can resist a milkshake with a burger?
It's the perfect combo, right? And not just that, milkshakes, that's a whole new way to make money. Plus, it brings in a whole new crowd, you know? Families, kids, anyone with a sweet tooth.
It's a smart move for sure. Now, you also have a panini press listed. Ooh, we're going beyond burgers now.
That's right, a panini press that gives you options. Grilled cheese, melts, hot wraps, all kinds of stuff. It's good to have variety, you know? Keeps things interesting for your customers, and it might bring in some folks who aren't in the mood for a burger.
So it's all about strategy, huh? Thinking about your market, your goals. Now, a food processor. This feels like next level chef stuff. Yeah, a food processor, that's if you're serious about your sauces, your dips, maybe chopping veggies in bulk, saves you a ton of time in the prep department. And you can get creative, make your own signature sauces, stuff that really makes your burger special.
So this is for the burger artists out there. Okay, last one, and I'll admit, this one threw me for a loop, a microwave in a food truck. Really?
It's not as common, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it can be useful for certain things, like quick reheating, maybe melting cheese, steaming some veggies. It really depends on your style, you know, if it fits into how you work.
So not essential, but maybe handy. Wow, I can't believe how much we covered. Seriously, equipping a food truck is a whole science.
It is. There are so many pieces to the puzzle. Cooking, safety, keeping things cold, serving customers. It's a lot.
But I think our listeners are walking away with a ton of great information, ready to make those big decisions.
I hope so. They should be feeling confident, ready to build their burger empire.
Before we wrap up, any last words of advice for our future burger bosses out there?
Here's a question for you to think about. Out of everything we talked about today, what one piece of equipment do you think is going to be the most underrated? The one you might not think of right away, but that's going to be a total game changer.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let us know what you think. And hey, as you start building your dream food truck, keep us updated. We want to hear all about it. Until next time, happy burgering